Hello, people of the internet. It's your favorite abandoned warehouse, Sarah here, with an all-new car review. This is the 2020 Nissan Sentra. It's been redesigned for the 2020 model year. It's the B18 generation for you Sentra nerds out there. And this one's panda topped. Means it's white with a black roof. This has nothing to do with the car review, but somewhere in this warehouse there's a large crow and he keeps like snapping his tongue at me. Like, I don't know if crows have tongues. I don't think crows have tongues. Crows have tongues. This is a review on the Nissan Sentra. Anyway, Nissan nailed it with the design of this new generation of the Sentra. And this is the SR trim model. So this little belt that goes around the grille, it's black chrome. There you go. There's some useful information about this specific car in case you were shopping for one and watching my video. You're welcome. The SR model also comes with these full LED headlights with the LED daytimer and the LED turn signal underneath there, as well as LED fog lights. Lots of diodes on the front of this vehicle. Kenny G? Isn't that a singer from like way back in the day? Kenny G. Anyway, this Sentra comes with these gloss black machine face 18-inch wheels wrapped in Kenny G's. If you suffer from OCD, this is gonna drive you crazy. You open the door, it's white all the way up. It's not black. They should have painted it black from here up. Yeah, I know it's excessive, but OCD is bad. This right here is smart. They didn't just paint the roof black and put an imaginary line across the rear quarter panel. There's actually a piece of plastic that separates it from the sheet metal on the side of the roof. Not only does the panda top look cool, but separating the rear quarter panel with this piece of plastic right here would make repairs way easier, especially when it comes to blending paint, because you can do just the rear quarter panel or just this pillar cap that goes above the side of the roof. There it is. That's a real metal exhaust tip, not some fake plastic crap back here. Good job, Nissan. That's a deep trunk. That is a really deep trunk for such a small car. Jeez. As far as the interior goes, you guys know how I do my reviews. I'm not gonna read off a brochure to you. I'm gonna give you my observations, what it feels like sitting inside the Sentra. Starting with the fact that I'm inside the Sentra, and it does not look like a rental car in here at all. This is a nice looking car on the inside. I like the amber stitching that goes across the dash. I didn't know you could actually sew plastic, but apparently you can. And there's also stitching on the door cards, and then these little stripy boys here on the seats. These are nice looking. I like these seats. Whoever designed the layout of this back seat is likely an only child, because there is only one USB charge port back here. Just one. There's 3 seats back here. One. You're gonna create some fights on long road trips. My stomach's growling. As far as the bolstering goes in them, it's got a little bit of bolstering. And it's not a performance car. It's not bad. It's a comfy seat. They are heated, as well as the steering wheel is heated, and it's a flat bottom steering wheel with the amber stitching on the wheel as well. It's a good looking steering wheel. The logo in the center is really small, little hamburger bun. I'm not a fan of the faux carbon fiber that is here or there throughout the interior. It looks like that 3M carbon fiber wrap that you can get. And then the tablet infotainment display has knobs on the sides, which is really easy to use, and then buttons right below. It's actually a nice layout, and it's paired to a Bose sound system, which doesn't sound too bad. Oh, map pocket is soft. It's acceptable. It has not only a USB charge port, but a USB-C charge port right next to it. Smart, keeping up with the times. Does it have a wireless charge pad? No, it doesn't have a wireless charge pad. It does have push button start though. I think every car does nowadays. I like this, the white tinted plastic. It's kind of old school 90s vibe to it. This does have a roof that you have to have the power on the car to be able to open. I do that a lot in reviews. So let's start this thing. It sounds like it's got a supercharger a little bit. It's got a little bit of a whine, like a belt whine. Keep in mind, this is an all new platform for 2020. Listen to this. That is an old school parking brake on the floor. I wish it was the Rip It style, but at least it's not an electronic one. I don't know why I have such a thing against electronic parking brakes. I just do.
That is a deep... What is this switch for? Color?
No way! The button in the center cubby controls the ambient lighting on the floor by your feet. I guess they hide it in there, so if you have a child in the passenger seat, they can't just keep screwing with it. Yep, it's a back seat. As far as the gauges go, I normally cover them in my car views. These gauges are gauges. So this is embarrassing. It's now 2 weeks later. I accidentally deleted the in-car footage from the GoPro somehow for this car review. So I just drove almost 300 miles round trip to refilm 3 minutes worth of footage for this car review. I just didn't want to let this car review go to waste because I really was impressed with the driving portion of this little Sentra. Except for this one part right here. And it's now time for me to give it the beans in the name of science. So I'm going to disable VDC. You have to do that by going into the menu system here on the gauge cluster. There's no button on the dash. And I'm not gonna move it down to L. I'm just gonna leave it in drive, give a little assistance on the launch, and let this thing eat. Go! And come on. You can do it, Sentra. Simulate those fake shifts. Go, little cart, go! Go! That's good enough. Oh my, are you serious? Oh my God. That is the heaviest hood ever. Hello, and welcome to Garage Science of Sarah. That hood weighs a metric ton. It's no wonder this car weighs 3,084 pounds. 3,000 of it is right here. That's not based on any fact. That would mean the car weighs 84 pounds, because of math. Anyway, powering the all-new Sentra is the MR20DE. It is a all-aluminum, naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder that produces 149 horsepower at 6,400 RPM and 146 pound-feet of torque at 4,400 RPM in a car that weighs almost 3,100 pounds. It's not enough. The passenger side engine mount on this thing is super beefy, especially where it bolts onto the frame. And then it's almost parallel with the valve cover. It's really high up. The prior generation Sentra was available with the 1.6 liter turbo that was taken from the Nissan Juke. While it did provide more horsepower and more importantly more low-end torque than this MR20, it still wasn't enough to deserve that Nismo nameplate. And I think that's probably why that car got discontinued. Nissan, you can do it. Please, we know you're capable of making a proper sport compact car that can compete with the GTI, the Civic Si, the WRX, the Veloster, all that have turbo 2 liters over 200 horsepower. I would love to see this generation Sentra with a Nismo badge and like a 250 horsepower 2 liter 4-cylinder. We know you can do it. It's time for the braking test again. No one behind me? Okay. Go little Sentra, stop! Oh, that was so violent! The brakes on this thing are phenomenal for being a little Econo bubble. Hello, I'm back. The drivetrain paired to this MR20DE is a Jetco-sourced continuously variable transmission dubbed Xtronic. It does simulate fake shift points as you've seen. And you can defeat that by putting it in L, although I don't think it makes any quicker. I wonder if you could tune it to bring the RPMs up just a little higher and keep it right there. That'd be bueno. And there's no manual transmission available. I know Nissan kind of seems like they've been sleeping for the past 10 years. I mean, the 370Z and the GTR still have not been replaced, even though there is spy photos of a 400Z and it's in the works. Like, I just kind of feel like they had lost their way lately. And even though there's no performance version of this Sentra, like their engineers still got it. They can still make a fun to drive car. I really wish they just leveraged that partnership they have with Renault and put a proper drivetrain in this thing. Not that little 1.6 turbo that was from the Juke that was in the last generation Nismo. That wasn't enough. Oh, this is not bad. It doesn't want to understeer at all. It's a lot of grip, just turns right in. My first attempt at filming this review, I was able to drive the car on a road that allowed me to push it a little bit further to see what it was capable of. And I have to say, this chassis, I put it on par with how well it handled is the current generation Civic Si. Now, it doesn't have anywhere near the power that car has, nor does it have the 6-speed manual. But I feel if you were to put the right drivetrain in here, it would do phenomenal. It stood out that much. I really wish Nissan had a true Civic Si competitor, like right on par power level wise. Actually, more power would be pretty sick, but I'm really glad I got to film this car a second time because now I'm driving it on a much different type of road. Granted, I'm not going fast whatsoever. I mean, I literally could ride a bicycle as fast as I'm going right now, but because this road is so tight and winding with all kinds of different types of corners and elevation changes, it's really letting me get a feel for this car more complete than just the first time I reviewed it. It is so good. Typically, when most people think of Nissan Sentras, they think of the only option left at the rental counter when you're standing in line at 9 o'clock at night at the airport and you're like, I just want to go home, I don't care. But this car is way more than that. I actually really enjoyed reviewing this car twice, and it is a lot of fun to drive. It got phenomenal fuel economy, as you should hope for, considering it's just a little Econo bubble with a CVT. And it's super nice looking. It's actually a really good looking car. It's nice on the inside. It doesn't feel cheap inside here. I just think that Nissan should make a performance version of it, because why let a chassis like this go to waste? It really is a phenomenal handling car, and I think it has a lot of potential. So if you guys have never seen one of my car reviews before, I have multiple categories that rate and assess them, starting with the Coveted Bean Score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 beans based on the feeling you get in your gut when you extract those. And this 2020 Sentra SR is getting a rating of 0.3 beans. It is not a fast car. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Compared to the 1.5 liter turbo that comes in the Civic, and the fact that the Corolla can come with a 6-speed manual still, I'm hoping that they bring back a Nismo for this B18 generation, and this time give it more power. Next up is the cookie category. It is an assessment of value on a 1 to 5 cookie score. And the SR trim level of the new Sentra is getting a rating of 3.3 cookies. It's getting a little above average. I feel, as for the price, it's nicely equipped, and it's just a little slow. That's all I can say. Lastly is the Penguin score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 penguins based on how much I personally like a vehicle. And this Sentra right here is getting a rating of 2.6 penguins. It is a good looking Sentra. This is probably one of the best looking generations of the Sentra, with the exception of the B13, the B14. There's my jam right there. I love those cars. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you soon with another. Bye.